Good morning, everybody. It is Heidi at Hen and Chick Studio in Conrad, Iowa, but I'm not in the store because we are closed and I can see the glare on my glasses is bad. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to think I have green eyes or something. But the weather is a bit frightful. Second Wednesday in a row, bit frightful. And so I made the decision to close Hen and Chick Studios so that everybody stay home and be safe. I'm so glad that the ladies both in the nest and in the coop can stay till tomorrow. Oh, aren't they excited? They are going to be sewing their hearts out, and I love it. But you know what? We can have fun at home as well, and I hope we're going to have a little fun today. So again, I'm Heidi from Hen and Chick Studio, and I would love to know where you are watching from. So jump in the comments. We got to keep this interactive so I can see what is going on. But jump in the comments and let me know where you are watching from this morning. Tell me what you have in your beverage, right? Do you have coffee? I have an energy tea drink, a tea bomb. Goldie is working with Herbalife, and I love the Herbalife products. So I have a little caffeine, a little protein, a little collagen, some sparkly flavors. And I always like to put sparkling water in there to keep me going this morning. So absolutely love it. Angelina she's from Nebraska is on. Good morning, Rita, Eva. Awesome. You picked up your feathered friends yesterday. Wonderful. I love it. And Kim, you got it. Yay. And you are going to be well trained from last week to know a couple of the things that are going on. All right. We've got people at their sewing machines. I love it in Iowa and Omaha. So keep coming, keep posting in the comments and let me know where you are watching from. And this is the perfect time. This is a casual gathering. This is obviously a little bit impromptu because of the weather, but this is a perfect time to tag your friends, share the post, let them know that we like to have fun over here at Hen and Chick Studio and that you're here having fun. And maybe they should join in too. And good morning, Marilyn and Diana and Amanda, some of my Coop girls. Yay, there they are. And Barbara, Carolyn, Karen, Deb. I love it. We've got Alabama. Oh, Deb's down in Alabama. All right, I love it. And Jan, thank you for setting an alarm to see me. I'm so glad I'm worth getting up for an alarm. I love it. And Liz and Minerva, yay. All right. I love it. You guys are all jumping in and joining in. Again, tell me where you're watching from, what you're drinking this morning. Again, I got my sparkly water flavored. Virginia made me. So I don't even know exactly what's in it. But it's always good and keeps me going. I love it. Good morning, Suzanne and Barb. I love it. Everybody keep coming on. Okay. So we've got a lot going on today. And three lives. So let's kind of give you the big picture of what is happening. It's called Snow Day Sew In, right? And so I'm going to go live now, then at noon and at 3 p.m. again. I've got kind of a plan because yesterday we actually sent out the February issue of Chick Picks. Do you know what Chick Picks? Raise your hand. Are you already getting Chick Picks in your inbox? Because you have to sign up for it. I am not sending it to everybody. You have to, opt in. Okay, so you have to opt in, and Chick Picks is a monthly newsletter that is featuring free patterns, right? I've got kind of a formula of what I'm doing each time, and so far, everybody seems to be liking it. Let me know if you're a Chick Pick follower already. Are you liking what you're seeing? And so in the comments, you should be able to see the link to the Chick Pick page, but if you don't, henandchickstudio.com/chickpicks or go to the webpage, henandchickstudio.com, and there is a pink burst that says Chick Picks, right? Click on that, and it's going to take you to the chick pick page, the same one I'm talking about, the henandchickstudio.com/chickpicks. Okay, so while you're there, you're going to see all of the newsletters that we've been doing, all of which are free, all of which, but if you want it delivered to your inbox so that you don't have to say, oh, is it time? Because I'm doing it about mid-month, but I don't have a set date. I kind of make it work into the schedule. So if you want it delivered to your inbox, kind of thing, then you need to sign up. And at the very top, it does say to sign up. Now, so again, you have to opt in to get Chick Picks. While you are opting in and signing up, there is also a line about receiving text messages. I've switched the provider for receiving text messages, and this is the easiest way to opt in to receive those text messages. So if you are opted in, you received a text message this morning to say, I'm going live at 9 o'clock. If you're like, I used to get text messages, but I don't get text messages anymore, then you need to go to this page. Even if you've signed up for Chick Picks and you missed that part, go back and just fill it out again. It won't duplicate. It's not like you're going to get Chick Picks 10 times in your inbox or anything like that. But if that is what you're, wanting to do is sign up for the text message, that is the easiest way to opt in. With all the rules and regulations today, I am, bound by those laws to protect you from getting, text messages. Like I can't send a text message before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. And I'm only going to send one a week, like when it's really important, like today or for an unboxing. But I will only ever send one text message a week. So anyway, so if you want to go back and opt in for that just go to that Chick Pick page. It's the easiest place to do it. Okay. So you want to absolutely do that. So at 9, noon, and 3, we're going to be talking about the free patterns that were in that issue. So like right now, right behind me is the fly away pattern. That is sort of the featured quilt of the issue. It is mine and I made it, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But if you want to follow along and want to get those downloads, now is a great time to be able to go and download those, or do it after we get done off the live. But again, and if you're brand new, welcome, right? Welcome to Hen and Chick Studio. And if you're brand new and you're like, but free patterns and I have to, what do I have to do? You still have to go through like a purchasing scenario, right? You add it to your cart. It's $0. You still have to check out. You have to enter your email and your name and agree to the fact that when you're doing that, you're going to get other emails, all the usual suspects of things, and then it will download. When you download it, when you purchase it, the minute you get done purchasing it, right at the bottom of the thank you for your purchase, it says download now. Okay, so you can do it right from the screen, or you're going to get emails that say your download is ready, download it, all that kind of stuff. If you're like, I'm doing that, but where are those emails going? Quite often, if you are not a regular viewer of or reader of Hen and Chick Studio emails, which you should be, right? Because that's where you learn the good stuff. Then it's going to go to your promotions folder or your junk folder. So, do a search. Type in Hen and Chick Studio, Hen ampersand Chick Studio, or Hen and Chick Studio. You can try both and see what comes up, or even Chick Picks. Now that we're using that, you might find it and find out where it's going in your inbox. So just want you to kind of a little, I'll say housekeeping here, right? Because we want you to get the good stuff. We don't want you to miss out. And if ever you have trouble, give us a call. We get it. We'll do our best to diagnose the issue over the phone, whether, and it's so hard because our devices, I even have a hard time sometimes knowing where did that note come from? Was it in Messenger? Was it on Facebook? Was it in Instagram? Was it in my email? Because content comes from so many places. So not to digress for very long there, but we want you to get the good stuff, right? We want you to download the free patterns. And if you ever have trouble getting them printed off, whatever, just come in and give us a call. Well, or, give us a call or come in. We will help you. All right. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help inspire you. And good morning to more of you. I see Gina and Suzanne and Bonnie. Good morning. Love having you all on. Okay. Now, all right. So that's the big picture of the day, 9, noon, and 3. And it's so hard. Like it doesn't look like it's, horrible outside, but they keep saying the wind's going to pick up and it's going to get worse. And we're going to get more snow. So it's so much better to be safe than sorry. Spend the day in your sewing room, being creative. You can come to Hen and Chick Studio tomorrow or the next day because we're going to talk about some reasons you can come to Hen and Chick Studio in the next few days. But let's start with a game. And Kim, I know you now know how to do this. And so if anybody, we are going to play a little scavenger hunt. Yes, you got to work for a little discount here, right? Okay. And I want you to get on our website and see all the good stuff that is on our website because there's a lot of resources there and we want you to go back. So look at this fun logo, this Snow Day Sew In, right? This is the logo. I have put it just 4 places at the moment because I think you'll be able to find them without any trouble. And here is how this is going to work. You are going to go to the website, and I'm going to give you some hints. So just a minute, if you can't already find them, and I'm going to say kudos to the first person who puts on here that they've already found it and uploaded it, right? But when you find this logo at the bottom of a page, you're going to take a picture or a screen capture, whatever it is that you need to, however you need to get a picture. When you click on this logo, a box is going to come up and it's going to say, enter your name, your email, and upload the photo of what you just took a picture of. And then you click to submit and you're going to get an instant gift. That is only good for today. Okay. And you don't have to make any purchase if you say, I don't need to shop today, whatever, if that's where you're at, that's okay. But by doing all of this, it's going to enter you in to a contest. I am going to draw for 5, let me say that again, 5 $20 gift cards. And tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to go live and I'm going to draw those. So you have until midnight tonight to find this banner on our website. And again, I'm going to give you hints in just a second, okay? And then when you upload the picture, you're automatically entered. So no purchase is required to be entered into our drawing for 5 $20 gift cards giving away tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., okay? All right, so here is where you're going to find, hint, the banner. I make this so hard for you, right? I'm trying to make this so easy. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so where might you find it? Okay, I have been promoting the last couple of days and will be promoting for the next few days that Hen and Chick Studio is participating in the Cabin Fever Bingo. So exciting. It's the 14th through the 23rd. We're one of 9 stores. And it is a game where you get a bingo card. You have to make purchases to get your bingo squares at those 9 stores. There's lots of prize opportunities. Now, you don't have to make a purchase in that event to be in the grand prize. You just have to visit all 9 stores. So you have 10 days to visit 9 stores. I put a map up the other day. You could do it all in one day. You could. It wouldn't be spending a lot of time. You'd have to do a little thought process of where you live in the process. You could do it all in one day, but that wouldn't be very fun. We would much rather have you spend, go every day, make it a 10-day trip. But not every store is open on Monday, not every store is open on Sunday. So check the hours of the 9 stores that are involved. But it does start the 14th and it would be great. So we are going to be participating in Cabin Fever Bingo. All right, several of you, here's another hint. Several of you, in fact, Eva just said that she's been in the store this week and picked up her Feathered Friend package. So exciting. Now, you can't become a VIR anymore. So the VIR membership closed on December 31st. So unfortunately, if you're not a VIR at this moment in 2025, you'll have to wait till we open enrollment for 2026. But that doesn't mean that you still can't get a Feathered Friends package while they last. So there are a few, and I think I saw Carolyn on here. She was one who's not a VIR member, but when I went live and said, hey, I've got a few packages left over, she was able to buy one of those, and I think she was quite happy. So just keep in mind that March 1st is going to be the next and hello, Kathy from Maryland. All right, we're going coast to coast today. I love it. And Barbara was here from Washington. So we have, I believe, now hit coast to coast. So March 1st will be our next Feathered Friend package. Those of you who are VIRs, you don't need to do a thing. I got you covered. You're taken care of. And when I announce if I have any extra packages, and it looks like I'll have a couple, but not many, then those will go public, and then the public can buy those for a limited time. Okay. Third hint. I know Diana and oh my gosh. Brain. Amanda, there we go. Are at a Rule the Roost right now, happening at Hidden Chick Studio in the coop. And the two of them had made the decision they were staying over anyway. Well, what a great decision, because they are snowed in the coop, and they, I bet, are having a good time. And Kim, I'm giving applause to Kim. She says that she has got it up. And Jane, she has it up. Suzanne has it up. Woohoo! Yay, ladies, get going. Find those banners. All right, you got it. Okay, and the last, anyway, Rule the Roost. If you want to come to a public retreat, if you want to have a private retreat, by all means, contact us as well. You know we have both the nest and the coop available. But I hear more women say, my friends don't sew. Well, we want to be your friends. Come to a Rule the Roost, right, Amanda? Right, Diana? We want more people snowed in at the coop having a good time. So definitely, if you are within driving range of the coop in Conrad, Iowa, when we do our Rule the Roost public retreats. So if you actually go to henandchickstudio.com/Rule the Roost, you're going to see all of the dates for 2025. It is exciting because some of them are already filling up. Okay, one last clue, although many of you are finding it. Go, ladies, go. I love it, I love it, I love it. But one more clue. What magazine was I the editor of and then was featured in 2019? Anybody have a clue? Many of you know I was at Better Homes and Gardens for 17 and a half years. I've now been gone longer than I was there. That is a weird feeling. Okay, so, but here we go. So that magazine is called Quilt Sampler. And there's been a lot of discussion about it because one of the quilts I designed for that magazine, for the issue that we were featured in 2019, is hanging in the coop. When we as shop owners had to submit patterns and project ideas, I did two versions. I did a blue version and I did a red version. The pattern ends up, it's called Blue Oasis. It's in the 2019 issue of Quilt Sampler. If you say, oh my gosh, I don't have that issue, not to worry. I still have some copies for sale, so you can get it at Hidden Chick Studio. Anyway, the red version, the blue version's hanging here at home. The red version I decided to hang up in the coop as a centerpiece. And so it is in there. And if you want to see more about those quilts and the some photos from the photo shoot, that kind of thing that we did back in 2019, just go to the About tab, scroll down, find Quilt Sampler, and you'll learn a little bit more. And I can tell you over the years, that was a crazy fun magazine to be a part of. There are so many fabulous quilt shops in this country, and it was wonderful to be able to meet those owners, feature them, and to highlight their days. And again, just some amazing. I told myself year after year of publishing that magazine, I would never be a quilt shop owner because those people work hard. And here I am 13 and a half years later, still having fun, loving, doing what I'm doing, and that is helping you be creative. So amazing. Okay, so I think I've gone through all of that. I love it that you're helping. And if anybody needs help, right, ask each other for help. I love it. And you could always go on the creative community, on our Facebook creative community, and ask there too, because people are so good about helping each other. All right, Judy's found the banner. I love it. Everybody's getting in there and finding the banner. And the fact that you are watching me and finding it at the same time tells me you are awesome people and you are technology savvy, because I'd probably cut you off and accidentally go one way or the other. And only have to find one. Lori, good point. Of those 4 that I just told you, I'm giving you clues so that you can find it in different places, right? You only have to upload it once. Once you get it uploaded once, you are entered into the drawing. You do not have to find it 4 times. And I just love it because when I get off this live, my computer is going to be going boop, 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 boop. And it's going to make noises like that too, just so you know. And I am going to love it seeing all of you jump in there. So remember, if you have not found it yet, you're watching this video an hour from now, whatever, you have until midnight tonight, February 12th, to find this banner. It's in 4 places, only need to upload it once. Just by uploading it, it automatically enters you into a drawing for 5 $20 gift cards that I'm giving away. And Marla found it. Yay, Marla. Click on the picture. Just click on that same banner. Just literally click on it on the website, and then the box will pop up. The link will pop up where you need to upload it. Okay? And if for some reason if I'm having a technical issue that maybe I didn't get the link in or something, let me know. You can always send me a message too, and let me know. I'll see if I can find where the message is coming from. Okay, drink. Awesome. Love having so many of you watch. Okay, if you are just joining us, this is Heidi at Hen & Chick Studio. We are in Conrad, Iowa, although today the store is closed for foot traffic, but our website, totally open 24/7. Lots of fun things that you can do on there. And of course, today we're talking about Chick Picks, which is our free newsletter featuring free downloadable patterns. And Karen, after the drawing, where will the winners be announced? I'll put that on Facebook as well tomorrow. I'll have that. I'll say them in the live video. And then what I did last week is I just emailed those winners their gift card so that they can use that. So I'll do it all on Facebook kind of thing. Maybe we'll find some other place, but that's the plan at the moment. Okay. All right. It's like we could be here all day. Well, oh, wait a minute. We are going to be here all day, although I will take some breaks and get some stuff ready for the next live, right? Okay, so let's talk about Fly, Fly Away, the quilt behind me. I love a good story, so I got to tell you this story. So we were traveling to a meeting for my husband. So he was in his meeting, and I love to go out and explore. The meeting was in Nashville, and this has been a number of years ago. I do believe it was pre-children. So to tell you how many years ago, Henry's going to be 21 coming up in April. So I can't believe I'm still 19. And so my day trip that day, and this particular day, was to Franklin, Tennessee. And oh my gosh, Franklin continues to grow. The girls and I went through there a couple years ago on our way to Florida, and it has changed. I mean, it's much bigger. But at that time, there was like an old mill that had been restored to shops and restaurants on the north. I think I would describe it as the north side of Franklin. Maybe my directions are wrong, but in Iowa, everything is like north, south, east, west, right? And I loved going through the antique store, and I discovered this entire bag of Shoo Fly, these blue and white blocks. Some of them faded, but for the most part, if you would say, in very, very good shape. And there were quite a few of them. And so I had to buy them because I love 2-color quilts. There is something, when we start talking about color and how people react to quilts, you know, and there's no right or wrong here, right? Right? It's all personal preference. I'm very drawn to high contrast quilts. That is something that I'm very, very drawn to. And what is more high contrast than 2 colors? Red and white, blue and white, black and white, yellow and white, purple and white. You know, there's just something so dramatic. Who loves a good 2-color quilt? Hey, and you know what? If you have a 2-color quilt, you can even drop a photo in the comments if you can. But, you know, tell me in the comments, do you like high contrast quilts, or are you more muted, you know, kind of thing? Like you want things to flow and ebb and flow together. You know, what is it you like in your quilts? But for me, that is something that I like, is high contrast. And so I loved these blocks. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely was drawn to them. And I took them back, had fun day in Franklin, and took them back to the hotel, laid them all out on the bed, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, these are going to be you know, really pretty, but what am I going to do with them? All right, day 2 comes along, and it's time to go on the next adventure for me. And if you can imagine, when I travel anytime, whether it be with the girls or before the girls or whatever, exploring what is out there locally is just an exciting thing. I still love to do that anytime we quilt. And I encourage you, like if you're doing cabin fever bingo, look beyond what's in the quilt shop, or at the quilt shops that you're going to in these small towns. Even in Conrad, we have a coffee shop. We have Hang Loose. We have Black Dirt Blooms. We have Sheer Bliss with clothing and cute stuff. You know what I mean? Like, find all those stores, because all of us as small businesses and retailers, we depend on you all coming in. Okay. So not to digress. So I went to Clarksville, Tennessee, and Clarksville, there was a lady that lived there. I have not been in contact with her for years, but she owned a quilt shop, Frida. And so at the time she did own, the quilt shop. And so I had to go shopping. And what was better than that she had this fabric, and I just loved how this looked with all of those blues. It just felt like it fit the era and all of that. So what do? You buy 10 yards, right? I just bought whatever was on the bolt, whatever it was. I just bought it all because I'm like, I can't get back to Iowa and then not have enough. So now I go back to the hotel, and thank goodness there's like 2 beds in the hotel, right? So I'm laying out the fabric. I can just remember it. I can see myself doing it. And I'm just thinking about this. Do I want the blocks on point? Do I want them alternated? Can I create some kind of a motif? Anyway, I ended up making 2 twin quilts, and obviously well before twins in our house, to be able to just use the block. So I actually have 2 quilts that are almost identical. They're not quite, because again, the number of blocks was odd. So one of them has, you know, blocks in the corner, and then the other one would be where the alternating square is. So they're just the opposite of each other. Now, these particular quilts, you know, things have changed dramatically in how quilts are finished. And I would say long armors can do so much more. But at, you know, 20 years ago, I felt like I wanted to keep the sort of that warmth and tradition and have them look old, because I used old shirtings, fabrics in the inner border to kind of continue to grab that. And so I did send both of the quilts to my Amish friend, Wilma, and she was able to hand quilt both of these pieces. And Wilma is just amazing what she does. Kept it really simple. We did some diagonals in the setting squares and then did some outlining in the Shoo Fly blocks themselves. And so just kind of fun. The border, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can't quite see the border. The border is really interesting. It's like piano keys. But then she also continued, did a diagonal line from time to time. And so it's a little harder to see that. But I love how it just looks so vintage, even though, you know, that it's not. And great question. And absolutely, people ask me any question you've got. And so Carolyn is asking, do I know how old the Shoo Fly block fabrics are? From the basic historical knowledge that I have, I am not a you know, student of, but I would tell you that some of them, because of their particular blues, I would say 1890s to early 1910s, somewhere in that era. And boy, if there are any of my true historical junkies on, like Jody or, you know, kind of thing, I don't know if Jody would be watching. She might know more than I do, but I would say somewhere around that turn of the century date. So that would be what I would say. Okay. When we are doing the Shoo Fly block, obviously there's a lot of triangle squares. And I hear people talk about the fact that sometimes they're challenging and stuff. And again, there is absolutely no right or wrong technique for making triangle squares. How you make them, whatever works for you. So I'm going to talk about my favorite method, but let me tell you, it is not the only method, and there are so many methods out there. So as we start to talk about this, I am perfectly fine if you want to drop in the comments if you have a favorite method. I'm kind of old school this way, and there's part of the process that I like. It's not always about efficiency. It's not all, you know, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just about, I like the process, right? And you're going to maybe laugh at that. Maybe I'm older than I think I am. But the way I like to make triangle squares is I cut 2 squares, and on one of the squares, I use a pencil and I draw a line down the center. And again, there's something methodical about that movement of the pencil that I like, right? And in all of the years that I wrote instructions at American Patchwork and Quilting magazine, we always worked hard to tell you the exact measurement so that there's no extra trimming, there's no extra anything. So like in this particular pattern, it calls for 4 3/8 inch squares in order to get the size that we're needing. And I love that method of exact, because I strive to be exact every time, right? Sometimes I hit the mark, sometimes I don't. Again, I give myself grace. But there's also no problem. And today I just bumped that measurement up, okay? Because I'm going to show you, I'm hopefully going to be able to show you how I would take care of that. And because 4 3/8, a little bit harder to cut, right? So not always the easiest because it's at 3/8. So I bumped it up to 4 1/2. So my squares are 4 1/2 inches, okay? And so then I have the one with the line drawn on it. And I line those 2 squares up. And now the goal is that I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of the line. And I did not spend all night like creating samples, so we're going to go with this as I go, so bear with me. I always, when I sit down at the sewing machine, I have a starter strip, starter scrap. People call them different things. I don't like to have a bird's nest of threads underneath the machine. So like right now, there is one of these underneath my needle so that I'm ready to sew. So it's super efficient. I'm not wasting a lot of thread. And my sewing machine is literally sitting right here. I know you can't see it. But I then can put my presser foot down, line up the 1/4 inch with the line, and I'm going to literally sew down one side. Now, if I were doing this entire quilt, right, I am going to be sewing all down the side of one side of multiple pairs. I'm going to put, I had another one. Here we go. Here's another one, right? So I have a blue pair. Cute. Can you imagine the whole quilt done in like gingham? And these are leftover scraps from another project that I did a couple of years ago. But I am going to literally sew consecutively or chain pieced. There we go. There's the word I'm looking for. And I'm going to chain piece and chain piece and chain piece without doing anything. But here I'm going to stop, right? So I'm putting my starter stop strip in underneath the machine. I sew to the end of that strip. And if you wonder what I'm sewing on, I am on a Janome 3160 QDC. Bought these machines for the kids many years ago, and I love them. We love them. They're so good. So I'm sewing. I've got my scissors right here, and I took apart. So now you can see I've got one, right? I've got one seam sewn. Okay, so I'm going to now go on the other side. Hold on here. And so I just flipped it around. I've lined up my 1/4 of an inch. My sewing room is not set up for online demos. So that's why, again, we're gonna work with this as I'm sewing and doing this with you so that hopefully you can learn a little something. Okay, back to my strip, right? Put that back in. And I should have shown you before I got so cutting happy, but like, it's always fun. I always love it when you do chain piecing and you end up with like these like banners that you can wave of, look, this is what I did. I love that. Okay, so I'm just cutting them apart. Take my scissors, cut them apart. Okay, so now if I was set up to do demo, right? Sorry, that's a whole nother level of technology. I literally would take my rotary cutter, lay it down, and with my rotary ruler and rotary cutter, cut right down the line. But since I'm sitting right here and don't want to adjust the camera too many times, this is not the best. I love the scissors for snipping, but this is not the best scissors for cutting down the middle, but it'll work. It'll work. It's just the seam allowance. Okay, so now I have 2 triangle sets, right? So the next thing I would do is I would go to the sewing. Oh, kite tails. I love it. Yes, that's exactly what they look like, Judy. Okay, now I would go and absolutely keep posting in the comments. Is this the method you use, or are you a triangle paper person, or do you do the method where you have 2 bigger squares and you sew all the way around and then you cut? I mean, like, what it is. I like this because the bias is on the middle, and by doing it this way with the pencil and the squares, my triangle squares don't stretch as much, so I end up with a truer square. There's all sorts of reasons why I do it this way. Okay, so then I would take it to the pressing table. Now, I do not open it up yet. I take the hot iron, I put it down, squish of steam, you know, a little squirt of steam, push it down. Then I have the piece on the top that I want the seam allowance to go toward. So I want the seam allowance to go towards, I'm just designating this, I want it to go toward the flower, right? I mean, that's like in the pattern in diagram 1, it'd be like the dark blue. So that piece is on top, right? I open it up, and then with the tip of my iron, gotta go down here, I can't do it all up high. With the tip of my iron, I would just gently nudge that over from the top. I'm on the top side. And when I feel like I have it all in place, then I would do a all down at once, extra steam push, right? Okay. Then I would leave that right there on my sewing table. And I would take the next one and I would line up, I'm going to show you. I'm going to line up the next triangle square with the seam that I just ironed. That helps me keep it straight. Do you see what I'm doing? Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Press, press, press. Open it up. And then with the tip, press, 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 press. Okay. And what's going to eventually happen, and here, hang on a minute. Let me do a little finger pressing. I have people who love the clapper at this point to be able to get extra heat. Wool mats underneath, love them because it's like steam on heat on both sides. I'm getting my a better flat seam. Okay, so hang on here. I'm doing my little finger pressing, but I can make it work. So what happens when I line those up consistently, and I'll do 6 or 8, then do you see how the little dog ears, yes, those are what's called dog ears. See, if we turn them around, it looks like 2 ears, right? Those are dog ears. And then I literally can pick up my bunch and I can go snip, snip, snip and get those dog ears off. Why snip off the dog ears? Less excess fabric in your quilt. Less bulk, less things to have to deal with. So I do always go back in and snip those off, okay? And all right, let's see here. Okay, so look, now I have not 1, but 2 triangle squares. But remember, I cut them slightly larger than what the pattern. So I would need to trim them down. And in this particular pattern, we know that the square it's going to go next to is 4 inches. So that means this has to be 4 inches square. And again, I'm not set up easily to change my camera without making all of you like, you know, super seasick. But we've got the Stripology rulers. I love the little ruler. This is the smallest the one, and this one is the Stripology Quarters Mini because it also has the 1/8 inch, and you can. I love this one. So and we do carry that. The older one is the Stripology Squared Mini. It certainly works well. If you're not familiar at all with the Stripology products, they are rulers that have slots in them that you put your blade into. I'll do some demos of that on another day, but not today. But yes, Jan is jumping in there. You bet. They're great for trimming up. So in this particular case, what I love, I don't know if I can show you this, but you see how, yes, you can see it. The X, these dashed lines form the center. So I literally, and I use those X lines. I'm going to see if I can line it up for you without, and it's not very far off here. And of course I make it, but I can use that same dash line to line up along the seam. And then and I gotta find that. 3 3/4 is 4. There's the. I'm gonna switch over here because I do think this one, the 4, might be more visible for you. Let me switch and see. But I literally can line up the diagonal seam with the dash lines on the ruler, and then be able to slide my rotary cutter right into the guide and trim it off. And so this is not a stripology demo, but that's what I would do, is I would trim them up then to be that same size as the 4-inch square that they're going to go up against. So just a couple little tips on that. Now, I do not use pins when I'm doing like this part, but I don't have, can I make do? Let's see. I don't have, I didn't cut all sorts of pieces. Let's use this one. So I've got this extra square, right? So if this were going to this, and I needed to hold it in place, if I was trying to match, and you know what? Here, let's do it this way. We're going to pretend we're making a unique quilt, right? Okay. So say I'm literally putting 2 triangle squares together, and I need to have those match. Can we see that? Hold on, I'm trying to get we need to have those seams be the opposite, right? Like I want to make sure those match. I would pull out my very favorite pins. They are patchwork pins. They're fine, and I can put the link into those later. We keep them separate because they're so beautiful. They are thin. They're thin. They have a glass head. They're very pliable. You know what I mean? They're gonna move. But I am able to get a small bite of the fabric, and I could have it right there. So when I put it up to the sewing machine, that I know those 2 seams are gonna stay matched, and I'm going to marry them together. And so that is just one of my favorite tools that I use. Okay. Well, I think, Ruby's decided to bark. She's got the free roam of everything out here. We never hear her bark. Somebody must be coming in the door. All right, I think I have covered what I've wanted to cover. It took longer than I expected because, of course, we had some housekeeping things to deal with. But I am going to be back at noon to talk about the pattern Fast Track. And it has some quilt as you go in it, which we get asked a lot about. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit about that. So I'm so glad that you are participating in our snow day sew-in here at Hen and Chick Studio, or my sewing room. And if you want to get online and download the free pattern for Fly Fly Away and all the other patterns, they are all, these are all, the ones we're going to be talking about today are all in the February Chick Pick issue, which came yesterday. And if you're like, I'm not familiar with this newsletter, not to worry. Go to that page, sign up. Be sure to sign up for text messages while you're there. All right, and then don't forget the scavenger hunt. Remember, find this banner. I gave you 4 tips earlier. Many of you are already finding it. Upload it. It automatically enters into the grand prize drawing tomorrow at 9. And there is a gift for you to use today if you so desire. All right, everybody. Love being able to be here with you today. Looking forward being back here at noon. Hope you can join us. And everybody stay safe and stay in your sewing room and be creative.